I like the idea of having a reverb pedal because, like I said, sometimes I'm not by my amp. If I want to include some extra reverb with what's already on my spring reverb on my amp, then I can do that. Let's just listen to some of the reverb first. This is with everything all the way down, so I might not hear any reverb. And this is the hall selected. I'll go ahead and turn that level of reverb to 12 o'clock. So that's with the decay all the way down. So it's pretty short, actually a little bit longer than I would have expected, but. I'll turn the decay halfway up, and I assume it's going to be pretty big. Yeah, it's pretty long. Now let's turn it all the way up. See how massive that gets. So you can hear all those notes just hanging out there. It's kind of cool. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this tone just to make sure that the tone does not affect the reverb at all. Like the instructions say, the tone knob is only supposed to affect the delay side. Okay, I don't know if you heard me increase the tone right there. It definitely affects the reverb also. Hear it, kind of almost feel it go away when I pull that way. So that's, I mean, it could be good or bad. If you don't want it to affect both things, then it's bad. But if you want to be able to dial in some of the tone on the reverb, and that's good. Now let's switch to the room reverb selection. Here's with the decay all the way down. Oh, that's really almost imperceptible when it's all the way down. Okay, halfway up. So this is going to have a shorter decay by its nature. That's pretty good reverb. Let's put it all the way up. I find room reverbs turned all the way up sound pretty unnatural, but let's hear it. So I don't really like the room reverb so much up there. Here's the plate reverb with the decay all the way down. I imagine this one will also be really hard to tell. Oh, well, actually, it's very much there. Okay, so it's a bigger plate reverb. I've got midway through for the decay. Okay, so this plate reverb is much more present than I remembered or was expecting. And now all the way up. This might even sound bigger than the hall reverb. So the sound just stays there. That's really big. I did not remember the plate reverb being so big. All right, let's switch over to the delay. I'm gonna reset the reverb to Hall. But notice I've turned the reverb off, so this is just the delay. Also, this is set up for stereo in and out, if you choose to use that. I typically do not, maybe in a recording situation. Okay, so now we've got our delay. We've got our level up here. Right now I've got the time set to 0, so it shouldn't even slap back. And the light here will show you the time. As I turn this time up, the light will flash further and further apart with the time. And it can get pretty far apart. But let's do something a little more reasonable. Got it pretty fast here at 9 o'clock. So there's really only one repeat, I think. Yeah, here's the repeats in the middle, so that's just a slap back sort of thing. Let's set that in 12 o'clock. So in the middle, I think I can hear about 7 or 8 repeats. We'll put it all the way up and it might start to do the typical feedback sort of thing. So not quite there. I didn't push it too hard, but could have been worse as far as that uncontrollable feedback. So I accidentally left this on the vintage setting, which is the one I think I liked the most when I was first listening to this pedal. And it seems to take a little bit of the low end off when it does the repeats. So now I'll take it to the digital one, and I assume this is supposed to be more of a carbon copy. Let's turn the time up just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and mess with the tone here too. So here, I'm just trying to let you hear the difference in the tone for the repeats of the echo, the delay portion. So there's a pretty big difference in both the delay side and the reverb side when we mess with the tone. Turn those repeats to a more reasonable level. And now let's try the last delay, which they call echo. And while we're at it here, let's go ahead and use the tap tempo just to show you how that works. Like I said, this one you kind of have to use your finger with. I tried to put my foot. There's no way to fit a shoe in there. Maybe if you have a really thin foot and a thin shoe, I don't know. So see, and I made it faster. haven't really done anything with the level on the delay or the reverb, so here, turn the level up on that. This is really just how pronounced you want those repeats to be in comparison to your original playing. I don't like them to be the same volume, and definitely don't like them to be louder. So all the way up seems to be just a little bit louder when the repeats kick in, but I could just be imagining that. Turn this one off. I'll go back to the reverb side and do the huge reverb. Let's go back to the plate, which I felt when the decay was up was very big. And now I'll turn the level almost all the way up. And just for kicks, if you want to hear the other ones. Room at its highest level and decay. Should probably be my least favorite. Sounds a little weird to me. I've left the tone in the middle for this part of the demonstration, and then now the hall. I think I'll like this a lot more than the room. Again, level and decay all the way up. Can also try them both together, just to show you that it works. I'm not going to get too crazy with the reverb. Again, I think I like the plate there. Onto the vintage here.